What's going on? What's going on? What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Unshakable Podcast. I am your host, once again, Kenneth Allen Thomas. I don't have Guy, I don't have Nick with me today because today is a special podcast. As every podcast that we have is very, very special. But listen, this is what I need you guys to do, all right? For this particular conversation, I need you to go ahead and hit the share button on this because guess what? You want to become unshakable in 2023? I got just the guy that is going to bring you guys into the new year the right way. That's right. So share this with your mama, your daddy, your uncle, your auntie, your grandma, your grandpa, abuela, abuelo. Share with everybody and anybody that needs to hear this message. We got my man, 50 grand, the one and only, from teacher to entrepreneur to dance choreographer, from working with Sierra to Missy to Busta to anybody that you could probably think of, some of your favorite artists. He is here today, one and only Mr. Chuck Maldonado. What's going on, big boy? What's going on, baby?
How you doing, man?
I'm doing good, man. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing blessed. Thank you so much for having me on your podcast.
Man, listen, I appreciate you coming on. I appreciate you making the time to come on. Listen, everybody that is watching this right now, I need y'all to know something. Chuck Maldonado, you've probably seen him on or seen his work on BET, MTV, VHS and DVD. You probably seen it all over the place, right? And listen, I want to give you guys, I'm going to set this up for y'all because this is a special moment, okay? I met Chuck. Chuck, I'm going to go back a little bit, all right? I'm going to go back a little bit and tell people how I first met you. And I remember this is like around maybe like a little over 10 years ago, maybe like 10, 12 years ago, probably. What are we, 2022? I would say about like 08, 09-ish, somewhere around there. Wow. I remember you were working at Debbie Reynolds, right? You were working at Debbie's. And that was my first ever, commercial hip hop choreography class that I ever took. And let me tell y'all, that thing was intense. Like, it was intense. Because you know me, Chuck, I'm a freestyler, you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So I'm coming from the street dance world and I'm trying to learn this new wave and everything. And I come in, I'm thinking I'm going to crush it. And Chuck took me for a loop. And I'm like, man, this is great. I forgot the song that we did, but nevertheless, man, you crushed it. You opened my eyes up to so much. And from that point on, we've been connected and stayed connected. I've brought you out to my studio multiple times. You've blessed the kids that I've been able to be with and everything. And now we're here sharing, enjoying. How are you?
Busy, but blessed. I'm doing great. Most importantly, I'm in great health. I'm in great spirits, but I'm really busy this time around. A lot busier than normal, but it's a blessing. So I'm blessed.
That's awesome.
I feel blessed.
That's awesome. Listen, Chuck, I want to start off the conversation because you have a very, very interesting story that I think a lot of people need to hear. Now you started out, you have a degree, you went to college, you very well educated in you were a teacher, correct? And then you moved into choreography. So can you take us through that story here? Let the audience know, for those that don't know, how you got to where you were at to where you are now.
So I was living in Atlanta, Georgia, and I was a high school teacher at Cedar Grove High School in DeKalb County. And I was teaching business law, and I also taught Spanish 1 and 2. And I've always had a love for the arts. So while I was a teacher, I actually had 4 dance teams. Had an all-female, all-male, co-ed, and a step team. And that's when I really discovered that this was a niche. This was something that I could take to the next level. And during one of my shows, every year I had these huge shows, fashion show / dance show. Lisa Lopez came to the show this particular year. I had no idea. I'm over here, doing my thing, and I go, I'm behind stage, and my principal comes up to me and says, "Hey, Mr. Maldonado, someone wants to meet you." And I'm like, "Okay, can we do it after the show?" No, you need to meet this person now. I'm like, "Okay, cool. Just have them come back there." She came back there. She came out. This was during Crazy, Sexy, Cool album. So there was that there. Nice. Yeah, their climax. It was right there. She couldn't go anywhere without people recognizing her. And I looked to my left and I said, "Who's this little girl?" She come close. I'm like, "Oh my God, it's Lisa Lopez." She came up to me and she said, "I just want to tell you, from what I've already seen, This is an amazing show. You're an amazing creative director, and you're an amazing choreographer and dancer. And if you don't know it, I'm going to tell you right now, you have a gift, and it is your purpose to fulfill that gift. You need to take this to the next level. I have a group that's about to come out, and I want you to choreograph their shows, their performances when they finally get signed. I'm thinking to myself, thank you, but yeah, everybody says it. You know how Hollywood is.
Of course, of course.
So fast forward less than a year later, I get a phone call from Lisa, and she says, my group got signed to Columbia Records. And the name of the group is called Black. And I'm like, oh my God. I said, okay, let's do it. Now, this is the crazy part. One of the members in the group, Natina Reed, rest in peace. She's not here with us anymore. But she was a student at my school. She was one of the students at Cedar Grove High School. And she always said, Chuck, I want you to choreograph for my group. We're going to be like the next TLC. We're going to be the next TLC. I'm like, yeah, girl, sit down, right.
Right.
And then, but fast forward literally less than a year later, I quit my job as a teacher to fulfill that purpose. Wow. I listened to those whispers and said, I'm doing this. And I started choreographing for Black.
Wow. So Chuck, take me through this now. Okay. So you quit your job and you start choreographing. Now, most people would say, okay, I'm gonna quit my job and I'm gonna go after my dream. Right. Now, you're a well-educated man here. Was there a plan put in place? Like, you didn't stop cold turkey. Did you have a financial plan put together and stuff like that on how you're going to support yourself when you went from teaching into choreography?
Well, I had been a teacher for 3 years, so I already had somewhat of a savings.
Okay.
At that time, I was dancing for the Atlanta Hawks dance team, the NBA dance team at the same time. So that was like a little part-time job where I was able to earn some more money on top of my teaching. So I did have somewhat of a savings. But the good thing is that my gap between teaching and becoming a choreographer and dancer for the group Black was a very small window. It wasn't a lot of months that I went without working. So that's the blessing right there for me, because it allowed me to transition and not deplete all of my funds. And then once I started working with Black, it was crazy because I had 3 jobs. I was dancing with them, I was choreographing for them, and because I was a high school teacher, Brandy Williams, I was her high school teacher when we went on tour. So I was getting paid from the state of Georgia, getting paid from Columbia Records. So I had like 3 checks coming in all the time. So it went from like literally making this amount of money to it like multiplying 10 times fold, because it was a whole complete different financial step racket. It was just that much higher. I was like, what the hell? People make this much money to dance?
To dance. Crazy, right? And you would never think, because my mom thought I was crazy. She thought I was crazy when I wanted to go dance, but it wasn't until she saw me on BET on 106 in Park, where she's like, oh, okay, like this is a real thing. Like, I'm like, yeah, Ma, this is real. No, I didn't get paid for that, but you could use stuff like that. I was using that as much as possible to, get myself out there further and further. So but for people that are looking to go after their dreams, go after a gift, we're going into this new season, we're going into a new year, and oftentimes people, they tend to say these New Year resolutions, right? I'm going to be on the news tomorrow, so I'm going to use the term New Year real resolutions, right? So let's be realistic about what it is, because oftentimes when you have someone that wants to go after their dream and their gift and their goals, they kind of jump the gun and they skip steps, right? And it doesn't seem like you skipped a step. You were making like a solid transition. Where does that foundation actually come from, in your life? Was it something that you already had embedded in you from your parents, your childhood growing up? Let me know in those terms.
Definitely, it came up from my upbringing. My dad owned a business, and I learned from watching him. I think college has a lot to do with it too. A lot of people go straight from high school to LA. They're 18 years old. They haven't really experienced life, really haven't had a job in the world. I worked in corporate America. I was a high school teacher. I have an undergrad degree and a master's in education. And all of that really led me up to where I am today. And that, again, that might not be right for everyone, but for me, taking those steps allow me to learn and move a lot faster than most people, because I was already older. Now, remember, if I had done all those things, that means I'm not your typical 18, 20, 25-year-old dancer moving to LA.
Right.
I moved to LA when I was 34 years old. So that's a whole complete another story right there in itself. But I think by moving a little bit later in life, it allowed me the opportunity to move a little bit quicker because of my past experiences in business. I have a degree in business administration. I worked for American Express as a marketing manager for a few years. I was a high school teacher. So all those things, I think, allow me to move quick and smart. Again, I think it's about timing. Everything's about timing. Don't ever rush anything in life. Don't ever feel like, oh my God, I can't believe this person is here and they're the same age as me. If I would have thought that way, I would have always been depressed and upset and sad and stressed out.
Right. And I think that's so good, because you say you didn't move to LA till you were 34 years old. Now, question, were you like, at what age did you start actually really getting into the industry? Was it before then, before you turned 34?
Yeah, 29 years old.
So 29, well, still, 29 years old, and then 34, you finally made the move and everything to LA. And you're saying, most people, they don't go out and live life and get more experiences under their belt. Do you feel like that's the reason why some people may not necessarily make it to the level where they would want to be?
Yeah, I strongly believe in that. Yes, I agree. Yes, to answer your question. And the reason why, to me, for example, I'm just going to use one of the movies that I choreographed, Stomp the Yard.
Yes.
They were looking for a choreographer that had a hip hop background. Well, that's me. That had a stepping background. Well, that's me, because I played Kappa Alpha Psi. That understood the lifestyle of an HBCU, which I graduated from North Carolina A&T State University, which is a Black university. And all those things and all those past experiences, led me to choreographing a movie like Stomp the Yard. I don't really think that anybody at that time could have done it.
Wow. Absolutely. And I think that, like you said, timing is everything, right? Right now, there's probably somebody that is a young, dancer, young choreographer out there, looking to get to that next level. Before they actually say, okay, I'm moving to LA, what advice would you really give them to stop the presses, before they make that move? Or do you say, hey, make that move, but do this while you're here?
No, you got to do it. You got to put in the work before you get there.
Gotcha.
There are too many dancers that move out there and they move into people's couches and don't have any money and they struggle. Guys, I'm going to give you a reality check. When you move to LA, you're not going to become a star in one day, and you're not going to be working nonstop in one day. Now, maybe one or two of you might, but that's not the norm. So I would recommend, as a dancer, before you get to LA, to save as much money as possible. That's number one. Number two, make sure you come with professional pictures, that you find a photographer that actually photographs artists. Dancers, choreographers, actors, those type of people. Not a bar mitzvah photographer, not a wedding photographer. You need to hire someone who knows how to photograph artists. And then the next thing is work on your resume. Even if you don't have a whole lot, even if it's just two things, make sure you have a resume. And then most importantly, start researching the agencies that are out there to see which one fits you best. There are a good 5 or 6 of them out there. Not everyone is going to be good for you. Not all of them are going to be good for you, but you will find that one that fits you well. And for me, I was with Block for 20 plus years. I'm not with them anymore, but at the time I wanted to sign with Block. That was who I wanted to go for. And I set the meeting up and boom, able to get in. But you got to plan before you get there. You just can't go out there with $1,000 or whatever and think that's going to be enough.
I mean, especially with not to cut you off, but especially in today's society and economy, on how things are going up every single day. we got to think logically here when it comes to this. Now, fortunately, you have things that are like, TikTok and Instagram and things like that, where you may not necessarily have to move, to LA right away, right? You can simply, I'm sure you probably would agree, Chuck, that you have more tools than what we had, growing up. I mean, I had a VHS tape, and
Yep.
that was about it to learn anything. I didn't have the and here in Jersey, we didn't have like a Millennium or a Steps or a BDC because it was too far for us to go, right? But all in all, regardless if you're a dancer or not, have a plan. And that's what I want everybody to get. You got to have a plan going into this next season of your life, because if you don't have a plan, then you're setting yourself up to fail at the end of the day. I think that most people, Chuck, they make this mistake, right? They have these goals, and with these goals, they have where they're at, and then they have the target that they want to hit. But the problem is that in between, there's no milestones set in place, right?
Yeah.
They're not having no milestones. So speak to that. Speak about the milestones that you had to put in place to get to where you're at.
Oh God. Well, for me, let me start like this. For me, when I was moving up in the entertainment industry, coming in as a dancer, first of all, you have to understand that before I even moved to LA, I was already a full choreographer, doing choreography for Black, choreographing and working with Pink on her first album, choreographing and working with people like Kelly Price and so on. But when I went to LA, I started from the very bottom all over again. And I wanted to do that because I wanted to do it right. And I also wanted to be respected by the entertainment industry, especially the dancers and choreographers. That was important to me. So when I went there, I never even talked about what I'd done. I already had choreographed like for the Soul Train Music Awards, BET, and so on and so on and so on. When I got there, I was just like, boom, I auditioned like everybody else. I became a dancer. I try to, that's another thing. Try not to be afraid of too many things at the same time. Concentrate on one thing. And my thing was being a dancer,
Come on,
maximizing and being the best dancer I can be, then assisting choreographers. And again, there's a lot of, going from a dancer to a choreographer is not as easy as people think it is. Now people think as you can get 1 million views on one thing that you're a creative director, choreographer, and that's not how it works. Well, at least it didn't when I was going through the ranks. Anyway, so and this was me, like my VHS, I was passing it around. I was giving one to Travis Payne, one to Hi-Hat, one to Fatima, one to Jamal Sims, and I was just passing them out like they were pancakes. Big ass, these big VHS this big. And anyway, so finally Hi-Hat said, Chuck, I want to hire you to help me choreograph a music video. This me. And then I built that relationship with her. Before you know it, I started choreographing some of my own things. Stomp the Art came about in 2006, and the rest is history. Once Stomp the Art came out.
Yeah. So let me ask you a question. All the movies you've done, right? What was the dopest set that you've ever been on?
The dopest set. Ooh, that's a lot. Okay, wow. There's so many really good sets. I'm gonna have to name a few.
Okay.
Of course, Dreamgirls.
Okay.
Step into the bad side. The way they set that thing up, the way it elevated us, that was just absolutely next level. Of course, we're talking about a 90 million plus budget movie, though, right?
Right.
Step Up Revolution. I choreographed the finale. The wall scene.
That joint was fire.
Yes. Let me tell you, me and Jamal fought for that scene like 3 times before they said yes, because it was very expensive and very dangerous to do, because none of us have ever been on those bungees. But, and when I choreographed it, the original choreography to that was not even what you see up there, because when we got on those bungees, I had to start diluting and making it a little bit easier, because you couldn't do everything that you can. Those things kept snapping you back. So that was an amazing set, like that finale for Step Up Revolution and all of the little sets of that. It was absolutely great. And of course, Stomp the Yard, like the finale, just the way we had the whole, all of the thetas come down and exploded. We came out of a box and it was just crazy. It was that was amazing too. So those are my top 3 best.
Yeah, top three. Because Stomp the Yard was super dope, choreography wise, just because of the rawness of it, right? Like it
Mm.
was like very, very like authentic, in my opinion. I thought that that was one of the movies at that time was just like, dang, like the joint is so gutter. You know what I mean? Even from the clothes, right? Even with the clothes that they had. Maybe I'm just being biased because I'm like super 2000 like 90s 2000, so I'm with the baggy, you know what I mean, like,
Yeah.
so maybe I'm being a little bit biased or whatever when it started getting a little tight. I don't know, but so because I just felt like the visual of what you wore and the clothing that you wear, you know what I mean, had an effect. That's just me. I just feel like it had a super effect on how the art is actually presented. Versus certain clothes do that, for me anyway. So I thought that was like one of the illest ones. And yes, Step Up Revolution I thought was super dope with the whole scene and everything at the end was like dumb crazy, man. Like, so kudos and everything and props to you, man. So I just want to thank you for bringing that stuff up, man, because definitely for those that are watching and everything right now, you guys probably have seen him with Missy and Busta and Sierra and how many artists have you actually choreographed for? You probably lost
Ooh.
count.
I, I I can't. I don't know. At least 100, at least
Yeah.
or more.
Mm,
But some of like the ones that that I had the most fun with, or I felt that allowed me to take my whole career to the next level. People like Neo, Chris Brown,
yeah.
Missy Elliott. I danced for J Lo, but I never got to choreograph for J Lo. But I felt like just dancing with J Lo. Just I felt like when you dance with an artist that's known for dancing, it
Mhm.
kind of just takes you to that next level. As far as like in that choreography dance
For sure.
industry.
For
Um,
sure.
but those are some of my favorite people that I love. Oh, I danced with Usher. So
Nice.
I was really blessed because I got to dance for some of the best artists in dance,
Mm,
like
mm,
Omarion and Usher and
mhm.
Chris Brown and all
Right.
them people. So yeah, so those are some of my top favorites.
I love
But
it.
I can't
Yeah.
name how many, so many of them that
Yeah.
I got choreographed for and dance for. It's
Yeah.
crazy, and you don't really think about. I don't really think about those things until you ask me. I'm
You
like,
just keep
dang,
going, right?
oh my god, I
So
danced for.
right, but that brings me to my next question, right? It's like your work ethic is just crazy. Like I remember you came to the studio a couple of years ago before we shut it down, and you were talking about putting in the work. Like that was the message. And I think it was a Chris Brown song at the time that you had choreographed to, but you were like talking about putting in the work and teaching people how to lead, not leading from the back, but leading from the front. And a lot of our audience, we're on personal development in learning how to lead even from within ourselves, right? And I think that's super important because I talk about that all the time, learning how to lead from within and using the gift that you have within you as well too, to make the shift in your life, and not only your life but adding value to other people's lives as well too. How do you feel that dance has allowed you to add value into so many people's lives?
Oh my God, it's opened a lot of doors because, once you get to a certain level in that industry, people do want to meet you. People do want to work with you. People do want to talk to you. So
Mm,
it opened up so many doors for so many young people to come into my life. And I know that a lot of times they said, but you blessed me so much by giving me so much, by helping me and guiding me through this industry and so on. But the truth of the matter is that they've given so much to me.
mm.
And I feel that they have because they've taught me like things that I didn't even know, like whether it be to be relevant, or the movements, and they talk to me about their issues and not to. And for me, it's when people are talking to me about their problems and their issues and stuff like that, that those one-on-ones are so important to me. I
Mm,
have to do that more so these past 3 years because of my dance studio, Fusion Force LA, that I have now in
yes.
LA. So now
Yes.
I have more access to me. So being able to have these one-on-ones with these dancers were so important to me. And it allowed me to help them, all of us help each other and move
Mm,
forward and allow them to give them hope, inspiration, and be able to love on them the way that they
wow.
deserve to be loved on.
Yeah, yeah. And which brings me to my next point here. We lost somebody that is near and dear to all of us in Twitch last week. And you talking about how, speaking one on one. and speaking and giving people, solid advice and guiding them through the industry and things in that nature. I would just like you to share your thoughts on what Twitch meant to not only you, but, all of us here in the community and those that, from around the world.
Yeah. He meant everything to me, by the way. I am much older. I'm older than Twitch. So I came to the industry before he did.
Mm-hmm.
So I was one of those people that was blessed enough to be able to have one-on-ones with him and to mentor him.
Mm.
And matter of fact, his first acting job was Stomp the Yard too.
Yes.
And I was able to bring him on that project and to show the world how amazing how talented this young man is.
Mm.
But what he meant to us, for me, what he meant to me was hope. He gave me hope. To see him, a person of color, on television every day, doing his thing, was inspirational to me.
Mm-hmm.
It made me work harder.
Right.
It made a lot of people work harder, and also believe that if he can do it, we can do it too.
That's right.
I love Twitch so much. Right now, I'm getting a little choked up.
Yeah, for
Just
sure.
saying his name, because it's
I
just,
know.
it took 5 days for me to be able to process it.
Process. Yeah.
And on that 5th day is when I just broke out. I just broke
Mm.
down, and because it was reality. Now it started to hit, and
Right.
I just said, "Wow, what a big loss."
Yeah.
We lost a huge talent, a friend, a brother, a husband, a father.
Yeah.
He was so much to so many people, and his smile, his energy,
Yeah.
and how he loved on everybody. And it didn't matter. I remember when I would bring him into my studio, this was during COVID, like the middle of COVID, he would teach a master class and everybody be all masked up. And it didn't matter. He would take a picture with every single person. Everybody got a picture with him.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. And that's just who he is, right? Like, that's just who he is. This man is, a godsend, I feel. And I think that you know, he just blessed everyone with so much positivity, so much love and light and joy everywhere he goes. Like, I never seen this dude, in a bad mood,
Yeah.
and I'm pretty sure that we've all had bad moods or whatever and stuff like that, but I've never seen it. And it's just like, man, it's so sad. But the thing is that I want to bring up is where do we go from here as a community? Where do we go from? Let's just touch on men, for example, right? How many men, are going through it right now and putting on this mask of, I gotta be Superman for my wife, for my children, for my business, or for my community. And they're not allowing that whatever is bothering them to be expressed out. What do you say to men that are dealing with some form of hurt or pain right now and just holding that mask on?
Wow, it's a really hard question to answer, because I feel like all of us put that mask on.
Right.
A lot of us walk into that space, and it could be the worst day of our lives. It could be the day that we can't pay our rent. It could be the day that maybe one of our parents might have died. It could have been the day that we broke up with someone. It could be the day where, you just don't have anywhere to go and you're living in your car. And these are the type of, young people that I talk to on a daily basis. Where do you go? I would recommend that you definitely have a mentor or someone that you look up to, if you feel uncomfortable with your family. Of course, for me, that's my family.
Yeah.
If you have a good, niche family, go to your mom, go to your dad, go to your brother, go to your sister, go to someone who understands and really knows you. I would be lying if I said I never had those days that I would walk in and pretend that I was amazing, that I was fine, that everything was good.
Yeah.
I've had those days. I've had them recently where I'm like, sometimes is it worth living? But I'm here to tell you that it is. It is, because a life is very precious.
Yeah.
It was given to you by someone greater than yourself, God.
Yeah. Right.
He gave you a purpose with that. And with that purpose is your responsibility to fulfill that purpose and to make a difference in this world. And that's what I want to do with my life. I want to be able to help as many people as I can. I want to be able to make a difference in someone's life. And that to me means more to me than anything else.
Yeah.
When I go through stuff, I'm gonna be honest with you, Kenny, I don't go to anybody. Because I sometimes feel like I walk around, or people see me as the lion, the person that they go to, the person that they depend on for advice. So it makes it very difficult for me to go to someone, because I don't even know, really, to be honest with you, who to trust.
Come
And
on, I think that's oof. Yeah.
And I think that's the biggest thing when you're going through something and it's very personal, and you take it to someone, because you, in hopes that they're not going to go around spreading, rumors about you.
Yes.
And they do, then that's what keeps us from talking to people. It becomes embarrassing. And that's why, for me, I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't go to anybody. And if it gets that bad for me, I call my brother, because at least he won't judge me.
Yeah.
He may or may not be able to do anything about it,
Mm-hmm.
but he won't judge me. And just sometimes just having a listening ear makes a whole difference, because it makes it feel like someone cares. Yeah.
Yes.
So
Absolutely.
it's hard for me to give advice to someone, because I feel like I need to give that advice to myself.
Yeah.
To go to talk about it,
Yeah.
seek help, professional help. I can
Yeah.
stay here and give you all the right answers.
Right.
But the reality of it is that, have I done that? No. Will I do that? I don't think so.
Right.
Should I? Yes. And
Right.
should you, if you're going through something, I think that you should definitely seek out help.
Yeah.
That's the honest.
Yeah. And Chuck, I shifted my career from dance into personal development and leadership coaching for a lot of reasons, right? And what you just said, like, was probably like the realest thing ever. And it's so transparent. And I think that so many people can actually relate, that you don't know sometimes on who to actually trust. And I think that trust is the major thing for many, many people, right? But I will also say, and Chuck, this is me now coaching you, right? That even the feeder needs to be fed.
Yeah.
Right? Even the feeder needs to be fed. And even me, like, I have a coach that I confide in every single month. We get together, we chop it up. How was the month? And things that I need to do moving forward. And like you said, you have your brother, but I would dare say to seek that on a week to week or every other week type basis, or as much as possible, because the more you can get that out, right, the clearer your mindset is moving forward for the people that you actually have to serve. Because oftentimes we unconsciously build up so much stuff that's in us that it's not being filtered in the right way. It's actually being placed on the shelf in our mind, in our spirit. And eventually, if we don't get it out because it's not supposed to be there, we then end up blowing up like a volcano.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like we have to focus on, okay, there are certain things that's happening this day. Let me deal with this day, this moment right here, right now, because I don't want to bring that into the next day or the next week or anything like that. It's more so having that awareness factor to say, okay, I need to filter this out because I know who I need to serve. I need to filter this out because I know where I need to go and what God has truly called me to. And in having that. Now, is it going to be easy? Absolutely not, because we're human. We have feelings, we have emotions, you're dealing with stuff. And a lot of times we're not in the right frame of mind to say, I'm going to do it this way right here, right now. However, I would say learn to develop a certain level of awareness factor, which I'm pretty sure that you have, but this is just a strong reminder and everything for you, just because I feel the tug and everything on my heart to just share this with you, that have that strong sense of awareness, like, all right, this is where I'm at and this is where I need to go. And what you need to do is find, like, if I gotta call my brother 10 times, I'm calling my brother 10 times. Like if I gotta call him 20 times, I'm calling him 20 times just to get this thing out, because of who you got to serve in your purpose and your calling. Because guess what? The reality is it's heavy out here. The
Yeah.
weight that you have, nobody else was meant to carry but you.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. I think that we get so caught up in carrying the weight of others that brings on the stress and depression and the anxiety and all the fear and the worries and all this stuff. And it's like I can't carry all that weight because I wasn't meant to. However, as choreographers, we're leaders, so I can direct you in the right way if I'm not able to carry on this particular weight for a said individual, because I could be going through my own thing right now, you know. So I just wanted to like give that to you, bro. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I'm
Thank you.
saying? Like, yeah, man, because I know that I know that you're older than me, but at the same time, like I feel that we have that relationship where we can share that, with each other. And why not do it, now? Because we don't, yesterday is gone, tomorrow worry about itself, and today is all we have at the
Yeah.
end of the day. You know what I'm saying? And I love the fact that you have this faith over fear, shirt. Like, does that play a part in your journey, in your walk? And speak a little bit about that.
Yeah. Anytime for me, we all get anxieties, because whatever's happening in our lives, sometimes we get these anxieties. I used to get them really badly. I've done a lot better now, and this is just a constant reminder. Faith over fear. What I have learned in my journey is that both faith and fear require the same type of energy, which is believing in something that's not even there.
Ooh, come on.
So a lot of times we're afraid of something that is going to happen, that might happen, but it hasn't happened. But we're afraid of something that hasn't even happened yet. With faith, again, you believe in something that is about to happen, you want to happen, you believe in. So if we are putting the same energy into fear that we do in faith, I said, I'm going to start choosing faith and put all my energy into faith and believe that everything that's happening in our lives is happening for us and not to us. And that's the reason why I wear this hoodie. This is the reason why I pray on this every single day. Whenever I get my anxieties, I always say, God, I believe in you. I believe that this is supposed to happen the way it's happening. You have already written this for me a long time ago, before I was even born. So I keep saying that over and over. I pray over it, and my anxieties just go away.
Come on.
Yes,
Come on.
it just rubs right off. And just
Yeah,
like promise, because we have a very faithful God,
that's
the
right.
next day everything is great. Everything worked out for it's good, and it's
It's
good for
good.
me. And that's what I've been, praying on every day, and allow me to minimize my anxieties. Allow me to work better. And right now, I can't afford to have anxieties. I can't afford to be sick. I can't afford to do anything, because I have so many people that depend on me, whether it be, industry work and jobs and producers and directors, or my staff and my studio, my family. I just have
Yeah,
so many people that
so
depend on
much.
me, that
Yeah,
I gotta keep moving forward and being strong, and
that's right.
continue my faith.
That's right. Fear is false evidence appearing real.
That's
For
right.
those that needed that, for those that needed to hear that, if you never heard that acronym before,
Yep.
fear, FEAR, false evidence
Where's it?
appearing real,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
It's that's just what it is. And I would be lying to you, Chuck, if I said I wasn't fearful of starting this new journey in my life, this podcast here,
Yep.
this going out into speaking to corporate America, right? Listen, think about this. I'm a I'm a street dancer, and now I'm going into corporate America, speaking and teaching them about personal development and leadership, and that is something that's fearful as well too, because my family depends on me, my community depends on me, and at the end of the day, it's part of my purpose, it's part of my destiny, it's part of my calling. And trading in my career for my calling is something major in my life, which I think that we both have done. I think we were called to something that is just much greater than ourselves. And I want to, before we end it out and everything tonight, there are not just dancers, but just people in general, right? The amount of, strength that it took for you to go from being a teacher to a choreographer to a business owner, entrepreneur, right? As we go into this new season, as we go into 2023, what is something that you want to leave the world with and give them as they prepare for this new year?
Well, one of the things that you mentioned was to be real about your New Year's resolution. Be realistic. You
Right.
don't set these goals. I mean, it'll be great if you can fulfill them, but I think that a lot of times people fail obtaining their goals for the new year is because they just put so much on themselves. What I like to tell people is to take one step at a time. If it's just to be a better person, to be more on it, to eat healthy. This is one thing I wrote them down. It's so crazy. I'm going to share this with people because
Yeah.
there's a couple of things that I said for the
You
new
better
year.
get your notebooks out.
Yeah, I wanted to do for myself. And this is some of the things that I'm going to tell younger people is that instead of, going on Netflix and binge watching, maybe you should take that nap, that sleep, that time to really recoup from your day sometimes. Instead of eating fast food, that you should probably go home and make your own food. You get to save money. You get to eat better food. I'm vegan, and for those who want to try vegan, it's been the best thing for me ever. Toxic friends. Let's talk about that.
Come
You
on.
know who they are. Go from toxic friends and try to find yourself a mentor, someone who believes in you, someone that smiles when you walk into the room. The next thing, TV. A lot of people like to watch TV, same thing as Netflix, but TV, instead of watching so much of that, go and exercise. Complaining. Stop complaining, people. Young people especially, please stop complaining. You should think about gratitude. Be grateful for everything that you have. The only way that you're going to get more is by being grateful for what you have now. Understand that. Blaming, putting the blame on other people. Why you didn't get that job? I'm blaming it on them. The choreographer doesn't like me. Every time I audition for them, they always cut me. Take responsibility. Take responsibility for that, kid. What I need you to do is train harder. Maybe introduce yourself to these choreographers. Maybe try to, take their classes. Do whatever you can to try to get to know them if those are the people that it is that you want to work for. Where's the last thing? I didn't even last, but the last thing I just want to say is when you make your New Year's resolution, when you move forward in 2023, take action. It's not going to come to you. You got to move. You got to work. Like I told you, I told you, like your kids years back, you got to put the work into it. It's not easy. And dancing from the waist up is not training. You're going to have to start using your legs. 45 seconds to a minute is not going to get you to your purpose. That's just, from the waist up dancing. And I'm not knocking that. I think that you should do both, but there's, you got to find balance in everything that you do. Life is about balance. Balance all that. And then most importantly, love yourself, love others, and always, help as many people as you can, because your gift is called a gift for a reason. It's not for you to keep, it's for you to give. It's called a gift. So you want to pass it forward. You want to, move it. You want to continue to build generations of dancers, choreographers, producers, directors in this industry. And that's my main goal right now, is to, to be able to pass it on and to allow other people to take that, that position, that reign, that and live in their purpose. Most importantly, live in their purpose.
I love it.
That's my, my advice to 2023 for young people, for everybody old. Like you said, grandmothers, grandfathers, abuelas, abuelos, everybody. Let's give everybody should try their very best to be the best version of themselves all the time, because you matter, because you're here for a reason. because you have a purpose, and
Mm.
it's your responsibility to fulfill that purpose to its fullest until you die. What you want to do is be able to, for God to use you in every way until you're so empty that you can say, job well done. You can rest in peace because
Come
you've
on.
done what you were supposed to do.
That's right. That's right. Listen, I say that all the time, Chuck. Every day, if today was my last day, I want to make sure that I die empty. You
Yeah,
know,
empty.
in empty. Gotta die empty because guess what? You know what Denzel said. He said, "Listen, I've never seen a U-Haul behind a hearse." Right?
Hey, yes,
I never seen a U-Haul behind a hearse. Meaning, you can't take your gifts with you at the end of the day. You better pour that thing out every single day that you have, the ability to live. And I want to leave everybody with this as well too. As we close this thing out, each person, you guys probably heard me say this before, but I'm gonna say it again because it's necessary. Every human being breathes at least 23,000 times just in one day. Take the number 23,000, multiply it by how many days that you've actually been living, and that's how many blessings that you've actually been getting in just one area of your life, right? Because the breath of life is so crazy, because no man nor woman knows the time or day when they're going to take their last breath. So therefore, every single day is a blessing that you have to breathe the breath of life. Take advantage, right? It's a lot of things that we do with this breath. A lot of things that we do, bad, good, ugly, sad, happy, right? Choose the good stuff, choose the happy stuff, and move forward. 23,000 times how many days that you've been living? That's how many blessings you've been receiving in just one area of your life.
that's a lot.
That's crazy. That's crazy,
That's
right?
great.
That's a lot of blessings.
Yes, yes, sir.
That's a lot of blessings. So
That
listen,
you
Chuck,
look at, yes.
go ahead. What was you gonna say?
No, I was gonna say when you look at it like that, it just changes everything because that
Absolutely.
outweighs any negative. I mean, it's like
Boom.
it's crazy.
It's
That's amazing.
crazy. It's crazy. And I'm gonna leave you with this as well, Chuck, right? And you could take this to your students and the people that you work with on a daily. And for those that are maybe they're coming down, they're having a down moment, right? I would dare say this. They got to start looking at the wins that they have throughout the entire month, right? Get them to calculate how many wins they had in a day. Have them mark it down from the top of the month to the end of the month. I guarantee you, if they write down every single win and then every single loss, I guarantee you they'll have more wins than they have losses in the entire month, which then creates a winning mindset, right? So you'll see the percentages in a win-loss column, and you say like, wait a minute, I went 65 and 17 this month. I went 88 and 8 this month. Like, I had a lot of wins on this day or that day. If they write those wins down, but they got to have radical discipline to do it. Okay. If
Yeah,
they don't have radical discipline to do it, it ain't going to work. You're not going to develop the mindset that you need. Got to have some radical discipline. Okay. So for those that are out there listening right now, take every single day. Start this January 1st. Start it January 1st. Write down every single win that you have, and then write down every single loss at the end of the night. And trust me, by the end of the month, I want you to calculate how many wins, how many losses. I guarantee you'll have more wins than losses at the end of the month, which develop that winning mindset. And you continue to do it every single month. And that then brings in, more love, more joy, more peace, more success, more opportunity into your life, because you got to see exactly what you're cultivating here.
that's right. Less anxieties.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Chuck, where can the people find you at, bro?
Well, you can always find me on Instagram at Chuck Maldonado. Everything, all of my social media is just at Chuck Maldonado. So that's the easiest way to get in contact with me. I just want to say this, Kenny, thank you so much for this opportunity.
For sure.
This platform that you're building here is amazing.
Thank you.
You've always been an inspiration to me. The way you move, the way you treat people, the way you move and talk to others. Just know that I take note, I watch, and I am proud of everything you have done. I am proud of the father that you are. I'm proud of the friend that you are, and I'm sure you're an amazing husband. And for that, just looking at someone of color, someone that I can see in myself, I'm just like, wow, like this is a strong man. I've
Thank you.
seen your journey.
Mm-hmm.
I was there I remember the first class you took and you went down in flames, and
Yeah.
how you've worked on it and become better and build your studio, and you moved on, and now you're doing this new platform, this new journey. Just believe, continue to believe in that, because you're going to be amazing. You're going to do always well. You really are. And even when it doesn't feel like it, believe me, you
Yeah.
will, and you will. So thank you. Thank you for also being an inspiration to us. And a lot of people don't get to say that to one another.
Yeah.
We think about it when it's too late, when we're gone.
Mm. Mm. Mm.
I'm telling you now that I love you, that I appreciate you. And I'm here to support in
Yeah.
any way I can.
Thank you, bro. I appreciate that, man. I love you too. I thank you so much for coming on this podcast and sharing. I gotta have you back on. Hopefully next time, we could do it in person, or maybe I'll fly out to LA at your studio and we could do it there. That'd be
Yes.
pretty cool, right?
Yeah.
That'd be awesome. So let's definitely
Yeah.
of course we'll stay in contact and everything. Listen,
Yeah.
everybody, please make sure that you guys follow Chuck. If you ever need anything, any advice, business, whatever it is, if you're a dancer and you're watching this, I would definitely recommend, going to Chuck's studio, checking him out, seeing what he has to offer. You want experience, guys. You want to get into the industry, you want to get into the next level. You want to be around somebody that's experienced and knows what they're talking about to help you get there, right? Because listen, Chuck has done it all. Right? Chuck has done it all. So, I'm pretty sure that, there's more stuff than everything that he's got going on, but he's a true leader, so I definitely recommend him, as I've recommended many of my dancers to see Chuck and,
Yeah. Thank you.
and be with him and rock out with him. So listen, everybody, please, this was a conversation for the ages. Please make sure you guys rewind this, play it back, a couple times, 3 times, 4 times if you must. Again, this particular podcast is brought to you by my new book, Nobody is Coming to Save You: How to Lead Through a Storm. How to lead through a storm. If you have not gotten this book, the link is going to be in the description below. Go on Amazon, grab that thing. It's after Christmas, so you're going to get it in a couple days. All right. So make sure y'all go ahead and get your copy. Nobody is Coming to Save You: How to Lead Through a Storm. We're all going through storms in our life. You're either in a storm, coming out of a storm, or you're about to go into a storm. One of
Yes.
the three is going to happen, right?
Yeah.
So you got to make sure that you are prepared. That being said, share this link, share this podcast with your mama, your daddy, your uncle, your auntie, your grandma, your grandpa, abuela, abuelo. Share it with everybody. You see, I got a Puerto Rican wife, so I kind of get the abuela, abuelo.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
You gotta do it. You gotta do it.
I gotta do it. I gotta do it. So
I just,
listen, make sure you guys go ahead and sign this up. Go ahead, Chuck. You want to say
just one
something?
more last thing before everybody goes. I am building a bigger studio now. So right now we're kind of in a hiatus, but in March or April, we're going to be opening up a whole new facility at 6,000 square feet. I'm going to have six. And one of the rooms I'm naming after Twitch, because I name them after people that I've either worked with or have inspired me. I have a Debbie Allen room, a Missy Elliott room, Nicholas Brothers, Michael Jackson, Janet Jackson, and now Twitch. Steven Twitch Boss Room. So I can't wait for that. Guys, I would love for you to come out to the studio. It's going to be absolutely beautiful, and it will be in North Hollywood.
Let's go, y'all. Let's go. Listen, y'all make sure y'all follow my man, Chuck Maldonado. All right, listen, everybody. Share this link, share this podcast. Do your thing. Like I always say, when we change the mind, we change the game. Yesterday is gone. Tomorrow, worry about itself. Today's all you got. And if today's all you got, you make sure you impact today the best way you know how. I love y'all. I'll check y'all later. One love. Happy New Year. Merry Christmas. All that good stuff. Peace.